Hello there, and welcome to You Don't Know Her, the mindset podcast all about creating the best life for yourself, one by design, not by default. And as you may be able to tell today, it's a little bit different. It's our first in-person, high-quality one, so hopefully you can see my face a bit clearer than my 1999 camera that I bought from Curry's. Other options are available, but I'm delighted to be joined by the man who's put all this together today, who's normally behind the camera, but today I'm delighted that he's taken the time to be in front of it. That is Jake Yearwood.
How are you doing?
Yeah. How are you? I'll buy you a cup for that. Yeah, no, I'm very well, thanks. People don't normally ask me that, so yeah, very nice to oblige. Yeah, so, I mean, I know all about you. I've been in your life for far too long already, I think. But yeah, for those who don't know, Jake, what is your background? What is in terms of your profession, and then
Not my ethnicity.
nobody wants to know anything about that. In terms of your profession, the vision you're building, what are you on with at the moment, and what are you working towards? So it's a very simple question to start with.
Yeah.
Just fire away with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, big question. First of all, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, background. So, fast forwarding, because yeah, I can wrap it on. I am currently an aspiring DOP/cinematographer. So, yeah, currently working full time as kind of like a camera trainee/assistant for a corporate production called Dependable Productions. But in my free time, which is primarily evenings and weekends, I am pursuing trying to become a more kind of like feature-based DOP. So yeah, trying to make short films, movies, music videos, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's me.
Trying and succeeding, I'd say. I think you've been...
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, well, I'll ask myself because I've seen probably more than anyone. But yeah, no, it's amazing stuff you're on with at the moment. I think you've been on this journey for... I mean, you actually quit your job to go freelance, didn't you? So when was that? What was the timeline there?
Yeah, well remembered. Yeah, that was back in like...
Pre-COVID?
Yeah, around that time. So yeah, I probably left my old 9 to 5. Yeah, maybe 4 years ago. So yeah, I was there for some time. It was fine, but eventually, I think I've said this to you before, but I just knew like it's not for me.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'd started dipping my toe with filmmaking, like again, very much weekends, free time, and I was just having so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'd come back into work on like the Monday morning after like doing a fun shoot, and I was just like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So I was in a fortunate position where I did have savings and whatnot. So I was like, right, if I want this to be my career, I need to put everything into it. So yeah, quit my job, which is a bit of a bold move. And I knew it was a big risk, but it just felt right. So yeah, I left my old 9 to 5, which again was kind of like your typical business admin job. Got nothing against that, but it's just not for me. So yeah, I went freelance for nearly a year. I'd like to say I was doing okay, but I'm not too sure if that was accurate. I had like a few things here and there, the odd wedding, the odd corporate thing, but definitely not enough to sustain myself. Like I was living off my savings, and again, I was fortunate enough to be at home, and my mum was like, okay, look, I can see this is what you want to do, so I'll try and make it as easy as I can my end in terms of things like rent and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actively pursuing that for a good couple of months, but I said to myself, look, if something pops up and it's more in line with what I want to do and it's local, I should very much at least apply. So that's where the job of Dependable came through. I was applying for jobs. They were up looking for a camera trainee. I applied for that and then ended up there. And that's been the last 2 years of my life working for them throughout the week, and then still pursuing my other passions when I can.
And I think that word you just said at the end there, passion, I think that's the whole idea behind this entire podcast for me. It's because for me, when you talked about the job you had before you went freelance, it did sound like ideal in some ways. It sounded like it was very low effort for you. It sounded like it was something you could easily bumbled your way through life just doing that, or growing in that field. But as you say, it wasn't fulfilling you, and that's the point I got to as well. I was working for a company which was the exact same sort of thing, very basic data entry, admin stuff. Took very little of my energy and time to do it, but it was, I actually got into songwriting at the time. It was kind of my passion at the time. That kind of opened the doors for me for for what we want to do. So I think the idea is, I think that the reason I wanted to get you on specifically is you've been pushing so hard for the last 5 years plus to make this possible for yourself, and I think it doesn't have to be filmmaking. It doesn't have to be podcasting, songwriting. It can be anything, can't it? I mean, you've said, I don't think you'd mind me saying something you've said off camera to me is that you wouldn't mind if I just quit all the podcasting and just took up chess.
Yeah.
And that would make you very happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
Do what makes you happy. That's my biggest thing. I literally say that to everyone. I can't stop saying it. It's like, find the thing that, gets you out of bed and just chase it.
Yeah. If you work... What's the phrase?
What is it? If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm not working at all at the moment, so that's always very fun. But okay, so we'll fast forward then to kind of, so we've done the start, we've covered a lot of it, but I want to get on to actually in the freelance world now. It's a scary world, it's a doubt, you set up your own website, try and funnel some business through there. And things started happening, and you actually got involved with a local football team, didn't you? So do you want to talk us through kind of how that came about and how that helped you kind of develop your own career?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know exactly what you're on about. I'm trying to remember how I got in. So yeah, that was Stockton Town Football Club. I'm trying to remember how that. So I think, I'm still in my old job or coming towards the tail end of it. And I see, well, actually, I think it's brought to my attention from, I don't know if we named other people, but Laura Sanderson.
Oh, yeah.
She...
Shout out for Laura Sanderson.
Yeah, the Sando Massive. But yeah, she like shared something, because she was working there as well at the time. She shared like a Facebook post. Stockton Town were after a match day videographer or whatever, and I was like, yeah, this is right up my street. It's football, it's filming, what more can I ask for? So I sort of applied for that. It was kind of like a volunteer thing, but I put my name in the hat for that, and managed to get that. And that became like quite a big part of my life for a little period of time. Like so that would involve going down on a match day and essentially creating like a highlights piece, but not just of the game, but of the sort of match day experience. So your fans arriving, getting, buying kits, waiting for the players to come out, and then bits of the match, of course, but then like the post afterwards, like just kind of all the behind the scenes that goes on. And then on top of that, there would also be an element of coming down midweek to record training, and just it was all just to give more accessibility to the fans so they can see what's going on. And I do think it helps create a deeper connection between the fans and the club. And it is something I'm proud of. Like one season in particular, when they got really close to achieving promotion, like they pushed all the way, and there was a really solid media team as well. Like, and as a result of, you could call that success. Obviously, I then start to receive other offers, which are great, and it just kind of means Stockton has to take a bit of a back seat, unfortunately. But I owe a lot to them. Like, they gave me a platform to regularly, exercise, pursue passion, create content, and also there was a decent sized audience there, and it helped form new networking connections that I went on to do during that freelance time.
Yeah, amazing. It's like I say, it's every step of the way. It's kind of taking you to the next thing, isn't it? And I think both you and Stockton Town benefited from that relationship. I think for me personally, that's the best content I've ever seen them put out on their website. And I'd still, rather than watching the recent highlights, I'll still go back and watch the highlights that you shot. That might be biased because you're my friend, but I do think that there was something special about just knowing that when that ball gets kicked off, there's going to be a cut through to a highlight. There's always it's a formula, and I love to see it. And that what that did for me was, as a club, I go a lot more now. Like, they're over the road from me, and I didn't used to go very much. But because of what you did, the Inside Anchors it was called, where you were filming the players and engaging with them, and because I feel more of a connection to them now, I'm going there more. I'm spending more money, and obviously they get promoted and they get higher attendances anyway. But that, for me personally, I'm there, and I'll stand as close to the action as I can. I was at a game a couple of weeks ago where there was an incident with Cameron Painter where he got studs into his knee, blood on his knee, and all that sort of thing. and all the players were there, swarmed around, and Addy, who I love, Addy Nicholson, Adam Nicholson, who's you'll see in all the Jake's videos, he was there at the time. He's the captain of the club, and he's fantastic, and he's got such a presence about him. But yeah, he went to the referee when this was happening, and some of them, Stephen Thompson was shouting and going, "That's a red card," and all that. But Addy was genuinely looked like concerned, and he just went, "Ref, do you want me to give you Liner some help? Do you want me to sort him out?" Like that, and it was just that kind of thing, and it was. And I thought, you know what, right? I actually enjoyed that moment more than anything I've ever seen at Premier League level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that one moment is more of a connection, and I think that's what film does. Like that film brings I mean, I talk a lot about this guy, but Joaquin Phoenix is my favourite actor, and he is when he won his Oscar for Joker in 2020, he used his acceptance speech at the very start to say, I'm not going to elevate myself above anyone in this room. We're all here for our love of film, and he just said it's given me such a life to be here, which I thought was amazing because. I mean, he talks about it that some people are egocentric and kind of like, this is me, I'm the best actor in the world. But he literally wasn't. He was just so happy to have the opportunity to be in this big production, a fantastic film that's gone on to have a sequel as well and things like that. So yeah, obviously Stockton Town, I think, has given you that confidence, probably, that creative license to think, right, I've created this now, and where else can I go? So kind of jumping ahead beyond Stockton now, what are we looking at? What's kind of the main thing you do now with your weekends? What's your goal at the moment? What kind of sets and films do you want to be on?
So as you say, Stockton football, that was quite a big part of my life, and it's still something that interests me from time to time. So to go back to answer your question, my ultimate aspiration is to become a professional. What I mean by that is earn a living, be able to have a lifestyle from it. Become a professional DOP. I feel like my route into that is going to be twofold. I think so again, because we all have to make money to live. I think the way I would like to pursue a financial income is create adverts, like become a commercial DOP, so someone that's hired on to DP for brands like Nike, Adidas, them sort of big brands. Do them to make the money, and then but also have that creative freedom, and then also be able to pursue the narrative work, but again hopefully get onto jobs that have a bit more budget. So that's my ultimate aspiration. And in terms of how I'm trying to get there, I mean it's with everything, if people aren't just going to sort of give you the job, they need to see that you're able to do that. And it's really annoying because it's like you're not given the opportunity to show that you can do it, so you've kind of got to generate it yourself. So for I don't know how long it's been now, the last 12 to 18 months or whatever, I've been doing a ton of mostly passion-based projects, indie, low to no budget, and I've had an absolute blast doing them, and to be honest, I don't think I'll ever stop doing them because I have that much fun. But the hope is I can continue. What it's definitely given me, because if I reflect on this year in particular, whilst 95% of the stuff I've done on the side hasn't been paid, it's still benefited me in terms of connections, experience, networking, all that good stuff. And I've talked about it on other platforms, but I feel like this year's been a bit mad. It's been a bit of a snowball effect. Like, again, I don't claim to be anything, but like if I just personally reflect on where I was at the start of the year to where I am now, it's just like incredible the amount of like development that I've had. And I make no mistake, I've been massively helped along the way. Like it's definitely not all me. I'm always very quick to mention other people. I mean, this thing we're doing right now, we've got me and Brannigan behind the camera and Stuart Hunter over there. They've helped me massively this year. So I'll always be grateful for that. But just over that time, things are just starting to grow to the point where I'm in the fortunate position where people tend to just come to me and ask, "Oh, could you help me on this?" And if I can, I will. It's as simple as that. And hopefully, once I get, again, that body of work built up and people can see what I can do, I can then maybe pitch to, higher up the ladder to maybe get those jobs that have a bit more budget. But that's my plan. Kind of keep doing what I'm doing, but look to improve every single time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's using your work. It's knowing that people around you. I mean, I heard the three of you setting up your equipment today, and I heard some phrases I've never heard in my life, and I was thinking, what is going on here? But I thought I'm going to leave you to it because you all know a lot more about it than me, and you've done a great job of setting this up and making this possible. I mean, obviously in my songwriting world, I don't know how much you know about music and the music industry, but it's so hard to break into. And we've had a couple of musicians on already of varying degrees of success, and I've got one booked in for the end of this month. And a couple of the people I'm chatting to that have expressed interest in calling the podcast, I listen to their music, and I know, for example, the girl that's going to be on at the end of this month, in my opinion, one of her songs is as good as some of Taylor Swift's number one hits, for example. But it's not had that platform to get there. And I'd say the same would apply for you. I don't see a lot of difference between you and what some successful filmmakers that are in cinemas are putting on the screen. It's about just getting to that level and using your network and realising you've got something to learn from everyone, isn't it? So is that because you've actually been on a set of a film, quite a notable hero of yours almost down in London. If you can talk about that, I don't know if you want to get into that one.
Yeah, I can touch on it definitely. So like everyone, because again, I'm fortunate and I'm grateful that some people look to me as not an aspirational figure, but I'm aware that some people look to me as like, oh yeah, this guy's like pretty cool. But I'm the exact same. There are people I'm looking up towards, and one of them, as you alluded to, is a DP mostly down in London called Vince Knight. He shot a ton of stuff, but what caught my eye was like this kind of like horror spoof film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which did do a pretty well. Like it got like it, had a bit of buzz because of what it was. And I sent him a DM on the off chance, mainly just saying, oh, some of these shots, like I thought I was quite specific, but I was like, oh, I love the way you lit this, not expecting anything to come of it. And he replied, and then that was it. And I just thought, again, that method of trying to offer, I was like, oh, I'd love to get a coffee, that sort of thing, just pick your brains. And he was like, oh, well, I'm shooting this day, you're welcome to come down the set. So, I made it happen. Like, I went down to London. He was kind enough to not only let me on the set, but also help out a little bit. I mean, very, very minor roles, like flicking light switches and carrying the clapperboard. But it was just cool to be on, like, a set that, for me anyway, is just a little bit higher than what I've personally been on.
Yeah.
And again, it was very similar to what I do like up here with the gang. So it was just you can just see there's obviously a bit more budget behind it. That's all.
Yeah. It's what, like you say, it's you. It's just taking the chance. It's thinking. He might read it and ignore it. He might, but whatever. But you think I might as well just do it. And I've seen. I mean, again, I've seen you be on the other side of that. I've seen people reach out to you and say, I've seen your stuff and I like it, and and try and talk to you. And I've always seen you do what you can, provide advice, whether that's I'm not available at this time, but this person might be, and or this is what I would do, kind of thing. And I think no matter how much you continue to grow, as I know you are going to over the years, I think that's still going to be your personality. I still think you're going to try and do what you can. So when you're shooting Star Wars 15, I think there's going to be people out there that'll just drop you a DM, with your 70 million followers you've got on Instagram or whatever, and you'll still go, yeah, I'm at Teesside Park this weekend if you want to pop down for a coffee. But I just want to make sure I wasn't rabbiting on too much there. But you've said a lot, but one thing we've name dropped so many people already, but we have to say it because of the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's Amber Doigthorn. Mm-hmm. It's someone who has been on one of your sets, and it's someone who's
earlier this year.
Yeah. As if that was this year. That's mad. But she's got. I don't like to drop numbers, but 3 million followers on across all socials, and big names like Keanu Reeves and Chris Hemsworth. But I'm not to saying she's enjoyed time with them any more than she's enjoyed time with Jake Yearwood. So is that someone like Amber? Has that provided inspiration for you to think, actually, you know what, she's at the level she is, but she's going to come and do this short film with me?
Yeah, quite a lot actually. Working with people like of that caliber, it's always like, again, it's humbling. Like you take a step back and think like, they're just people, like, and it's like. It just reaffirms that belief, like that's kind of why we do it. And again, it's not came to anything at the moment. But again, I've said to you before, but for the purpose of this, like while we were on that shoot, she did kind of like, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but she did kind of come up and she just sort of inquired about my availability as to whether I might be able to, do some do some projects with her basically. And I was like, yeah. I mean, well, as usual, I was like, if I can, I'd love to. Like I say, it's not quite followed up into anything, but just that initial, like her coming up to me again was quite. That was like when I started to think, okay, yeah, maybe I do have something that I can offer like people, and I should be a bit more proud and just be a bit more adventurous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Well, I hate to be
That
that
lunch,
guy, but
yeah.
that is our time already. So yeah, I do thoroughly appreciate.
Flown by.
It has flown by. You know what? Everyone said that who's come on, so that's always nice to hear. But yeah, that is our time. But I do thank you and your team for coming and making this possible. So my final question to you is: if people do want to find you and they want to know more about you, where's the best place to find you?
Best place to find me is probably Instagram.
Yeah.
So that is jakeyearwood.dp. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Shoot me a DM, chuck me a follow, whatever. I'll get in touch if you need anything.
Yeah,
And
amazing, perfect. Well, brilliant. I'll drop that in the description box of this video, and I'll drop the socials for your team as well. So if people want to get in touch, there's plenty of options there. So yes,
spot on.
thank you very much, man. Take care. Bye.
Take care, chaps.